Order the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners work session, May the 11th, 2026, at 4 p.m. Please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. Please stand for the invocation given by Deputy County Administrator Jeff Fisher, followed by the pledge.
Oh, gracious Lord, we come before you today with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. Grant this commission wisdom, integrity, and unity as decisions are made that affect the lives of the citizens of this county. Guide each member with clarity of mind and fairness of heart. We ask for your blessing upon the employees, first responders, families, businesses, and all those in this community. May our efforts today promote justice, peace, and progress. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need to adopt the agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Make a motion to adopt.
All in favor? New business. Discussion of general fund surplus. A, building repairs and renovation.
Commissioners, we have went through a couple of the buildings, building 756, building A, and building C, which was the old pathways. Elections is in building B. We looked at 124 North Court Square, the admin building here, and then the E911 building is not on your breakdown of discussion, but that's one that needs to be some renovations over there. From building A, Chief Stevens can speak more on that one. I would tell you on building C, it's about 9,200 square feet. We do need remediation done throughout that building. I did get the report back Thursday. So before anybody goes in there and does the scope of work, we do got to get it remediated. I will put that bid out, see what it comes back out, bring it in front of the board because we can use SPOS to do the remediation. But there is definitely need a remediation to be done. North Court Square, I call it the old tax assessor building, which held assessor, the commissioner, and the building zoning. It's about 4,720 square feet. Deputy County Administrator, Mr. Fisher, went out there and identified, I think, 51 windows that need to be replaced, plus all the wood soffit around the building. So that's one scope of work we can put out for bid just to see what it'll come back at and bring it back to the board to see what we're looking at on that cost. The windows alone, with 51 windows, you're looking at probably $200,000 alone just in the windows because all of them need to be replaced. So it's going to be a expensive project to renovate that exterior of that building. Here at the admin building, we need carpet in the building. It's coming up on the sides. I have one quote in for a little over 15,000, trying to get another quote in. We do need to do some leveling out here by Miss Jane. I got one quote in for that one. That'll help the drainage just because it's in a low-lying area, all the rain's running downhill, so it needs to be built back up and probably a French drain put in. The gutters, I have two quotes on that one. If we're going to do it all in one, I'd rather do it all in the SPOS and see if we can get all the building renovated and a total cost of a whole package for this building. And then I think 911 needs some paint and carpet as well. Basically, we need a refresh on most of the interiors of the buildings, carpet and painting on this building and 911. But I'll let Chief Stevens speak on building A and kind of how he proposed on that one. I think he gave you a kind of a layout of his proposal after him and Deputy Administrator Fisher went in there and looked at it last week and kind of came up with a game plan on how he foresees building A if we went forward with that move.
All right, if you guys look on the legal pad, that you got a copy of, that's just kind of a layout of the potential for that building to fit our needs. Similar to what it is currently, but there is going to be moving some interior walls and rearranging some interior to meet some of the needs. If you look at the logistics on the bottom of the page, it'll be about 2,100 square foot. It's very similar to what we have occupied now at the school. The training room is about 2,100 square foot. There again, that's pretty close to what, it's actually a little bit bigger on the training side than what we have at the school currently. And then you see just kind of how the office is laid out, the lobby's laid out. The lobby would be directly adjacent to the admin assistant, which would hopefully be a window in that area, just for access for public. Small kitchenette in the back, more like a staff bathroom on that hallway, which is currently there. It just takes some renovation, maybe some cleaning up, that type stuff. But then you see the two big bathrooms. Those would be directly in location with the training room, and asking to put additional showers in those bathrooms. They don't have the showers currently. I think they have. I think the women's has 4 toilets. The men's has 2 urinals and a toilet. That's in there. So if we could put 2 showers and 2 toilets in both bathrooms, just so they're identical, that would give the people in the training room, when they're doing PT and exercises outside and things like that, a place to shower and decon once they come back into the classroom. That's pretty much the general layout for that. You see the 2 offices in the back. That would be for the logistics, the individuals over the logistics and checking that stuff out. It would be the addition of adding a roll-up door in that back area going into logistics, just in case we have a pallet load of stuff, or if we have a declaration or something and we got water and things like that we need to offload in bulk, we could get it in and out of that door a lot easier and secure that equipment. But that's pretty much what I got on that. I do have a just jotted down this thing to come to mind of doing that renovation. Have to replace flooring, either put tile or some type of stained concrete. I think the stained negative concrete looks just as good and durable as tile these days. Ceiling tiles and grids, update the lighting. The windows need replacing in the front of that building. They've got a lot of moisture and stuff between the bearings on the windows. Relocation of some interior walls, doors on the interior and the exterior, adding a few, moving a few, taking a few away. As we stated earlier, the bathroom stalls and the sinks, and probably some relocation of electric and plumbing during all that. Additional things, we talked about this last time, internet, phones. I think that can happen pretty reasonable, not a whole lot of expense to that. Put some AV equipment into the training room, such as like TVs, smart boards, projector, so we can do all of our exercises in there. And then, of course, metal shelving for logistics. We've got some that we use now, but they've been piecemealed and everything together. If we're going for top notch, we want everything to look good and be equal across the board. It'd be nice to get new shelving and things so they can divide that stuff up as it needs to be. And then possibly some appliances for the kitchen. I think there was a refrigerator over there at one time that maybe got moved to the jail or something. I don't really know that, but there is a kitchen area there with a hood and stuff, but it's going to need probably some type of stove oven, a refrigerator. And it'd be nice to have an ice machine, to go in there in case we got to fill ice for training evolutions and, if we're going to locate there. So that's kind of just brainstorming and going through and walking through, Mr. Jeff, and getting an idea of what we got laid out over there. So.
What would the additional 2 offices back here be for?
That's what I'm saying. That's with the logistics people that I have now, Fonz and where Fonz and Keith's office is. They've got an office it's just relocate them to that building.
Who are the people that are gonna be in the other offices? Cause I thought the main thing was keeping us closer together, but
It'll be everybody. It'll be me, Chief Grice, Chief Meeks, admin assistant, all those. They'll be all under one roof. So
who's the 4th one? I was just writing them down.
Meeks, myself, Grice, Alphonse, and Keith, and then the admin assistant.
So I'd leave one extra office up in the front to keep.
Yeah, and that'll be like, for the time being, be for records and stuff, just a place to put file cabinets and keep those things.
So are all these offices already in place out there, or you gotta?
They are, but not at this size. This was just going and scratching the whole thing and just starting over and laying them out in a different size. With these, they're a little bit bigger. They're moving the hallway. They're getting a common hallway where you can access from the lobby instead of going through somebody's office and into the hallway and that type of stuff. So this is just kind of making more of an efficient footprint. They're similar, but not, we can probably use the walls that divide them, you know, between the 4 or 5 offices up front. But as far as it will lengthen the office just a little bit.
And the existing training's being done at the old school
The
building.
school.
And all it needs is what, air conditioning fixed?
I don't know right now. Currently, the air conditioner's out. But
Are we paying anything to the school board to use that?
not to my knowledge.
Not I'm aware of.
Would that completely get us out of that area?
Yes. Yes. With logistics and training both. Yeah, all of them will get moved.
I mean, when I say completely, I mean, there's no fire, EMS,
they won't
anything
be-
left in that area. It's all out up here centrally located.
Yes.
Not even for a regional site, nothing. Okay. What about, why do you need ceiling tiles in there? That just, you were thinking that's what
Well,
we
it's
do? or-
because it's gonna change, when you change walls and move, you're gonna have open spots and stuff. Now, I'm not saying they all need to be replaced, but to me, you're gonna have to go in and change some of their grids and add tiles where those little gaps and things like that are.
But I think we would just gut it, paint it, put light fixtures where you need them. I mean, it's just cheaper to do and maintain in the future.
I don't know what the insulating factor is above that. I think it's just a red steel building. And then all the AC and stuff is hanging above that ceiling tile. Is that what you're talking about, moving, taking the ceiling tile completely down?
Yeah, and just paint everything, just like every new business restaurant.
Yeah, I
new
don't know
building you
what
see
that is.
everywhere else comes up nowadays, you don't have it. You just, it's all open and painted.
I don't know, I don't know what that, I don't know what's above it other than the
I bet it's
AC.
sprayed insulation.
Yeah, but then you could.
Some
you
sort
get away
of
with it.
something, but I don't know exactly what's above it, so.
I mean, the ceiling tile stuff is from the 70s and 80s, and you know, I mean, it's just, it looks better not being there, and you don't have the maintenance and upkeep later to keep fooling with it. And it's not really giving you an insurance, I mean, insulation. It itself is not, but I understand what you're saying above it. What about in Greenville, in the site over here, is there anything that's gonna be leaving there, going to this new location?
No,
So it's all just coming out of Warm Springs or
well, it's coming out of
the school building?
and then over there on Hill Havens.
Oh, okay. What'll be
The
left
old
on?
Fire station going toward the Grange.
Yep.
There's 3 offices in there, mine, Chief Price, and the administrative assistant. They would all be going to this building.
And what would we do with those
It would be
areas?
maintenance. It's got 3 bays, 4 bays over there, so he would still use that like a generalized shop location. For Chief Garrett.
That's what he was doing with it before you moved over there, correct?
Well, the only thing we're occupying is the end of the building, so yes, he's still using it as a maintenance facility.
So basically, we gut the whole building out and redo it just like we did the election office.
That's an option, yes, sir. That's what I proposed here.
Let's go back and look at what you were saying at the last meeting where it didn't need much. I wanna go back to those numbers.
Well, no, that's fine with me. I mean, I can move into it.
Cause you said it was about ready and now it's moving walls and taking down the tiles and.
Was that not
I
what
mean,
you
it was a
requested?
big-
though?
That is what I asked him to do
Okay.
for this meeting, was to bring us that kind of presentation to what it would take to fully move in, modernize it, and with plenty of room for all the staff. So I did, that's my fault. I asked for that kind of, and if we're going to go into that endeavor, then let's do it the right way where it looks good and nice and like it's a county official building, instead of something we all did on a Saturday to try and make it look good. I think we're better than that, in my opinion.
And this is something the board wants to staff to look into. We can get quotes on it and see what it'll cost to do this and bring it back to the board.
Yeah, to the Commissioner Nelson's point, I wasn't looking to spend $500,000 on that. I mean,
You know,
but we wanted to, what is it gonna cost to do it the right way? And then what do we actually have to have somewhere in the middle to be where we can land?
but this is like a couple extra offices and, you know, more than I was expecting. Like adding, moving walls and stuff, everything around.
Does this improve operations, operationally speaking? Will it improve in any way the training, the time of the training, effectiveness of training, effectiveness of the staff, communication? data gathering, any aspects of the function of the fire department?
The training, the quality of the training is gonna be the same. You know, we still got the same standards, we still got the same stuff that we had to go by. The efficiency of the operational staff and the training staff and, you know, being in direct communication, I think is gonna help drastically. You know, because right now I ride to 2 different offices, you know, and I have to call somebody to come over and we sit down and we draw and we do this and we talk and we do this, but with us all being in one building, it's gonna make us more efficient as far as a department with communication, with just having meetings and things like that, accountability, making sure, you know, people are where they are, where they're supposed to be, you know, that type of stuff. But as far as changing the standard of the training and the time, it's not gonna affect that.
No, I knew we wouldn't change what we were training, but would it make it more efficient having it at this location in this area with the entire staff close by? Would you be able to accelerate any training or provide, you know, better insight or input from different areas during that training versus it being scattered away from the rest of the staff?
It's immediate feedback, you know, like when we're doing things and I see something that, hey, let's do it like this, or Chief Price sees something, says, hey, let's implement this, or Chief Meeks, it's instant feedback right there versus, you know, seeing something and then going back a day later to catch up on it and things like that. I think it, you know, I think it has its advantages there.
For all the storage area in the logistics, would we need any new equipment, refrigerated or any?
No, I currently got a refrigerator. We can relocate from that office. But we don't keep any supplies refrigerated. So there's no need for that. We'll be relocating a washer and a dryer. You know, that's just simple plug and play stuff. That's the only specialized that I can think of.
Everybody's not located in the same building at this time, correct?
Actually.
So as a department head, are you concerned? Because I've seen it many times. Are you concerned when you put everybody in one building? Now you got more, this one hanging out in this one's office, this one here chit chat about this, chit chat about that. And then you get drama or you get problems, you get issues. Sometimes it's not best to have everybody in the same building. From what I've experienced with other buildings and departments since I've been on this board, are you concerned with that or can assure there's not going to be those kind of issues and problems?
They won't. No, there's not going to be that. And with the staff that I got now, they are very well capable of communicating and talking, and you know, we're not going to have an issue with not getting along, so to speak. There's not going to be that issue.
I've seen it the opposite of what he's saying. I understand his concern and it's valid, but I've worked in an environment where they moved us all in what they call a bullpen. We had offices no more. We had cubicles, and most of those, it was just one here and there to keep me from seeing him all day and one neck there. So if we were all against it and didn't like it and complained about it, but with about 6 to 9 months later, we was a stronger team.
Yeah.
We all got along better, understood each other better, and worked, you know.
And that's kind of the way I feel, I guess.
They are
I'd like to
benefits.
take a couple steps and go around the corner and have a conversation
Yeah.
versus, you know, hey, I'm doing an email right now. Let me get finished with this. Then I'll run over to this building and we'll have that conversation. And then somebody else walks in the office and then you got other things, or, you know, John calls me and says, I need this or I need that. You know, that delay has broke up that level of communication.
But let me tell you something, Dan. Communication, no matter how good you are, if you have you communicate something here and you have to go to another office, it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
Across the board. So it's better to have everything in one area, my personal opinion. And if people can't be adults and act like professionals, then they need to go home in the first place. But
That's right.
when you have those individuals there, one communication is all communication.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine with it all being together. I was just asking you, since it's your department.
Yeah, I really
how,
don't.
you know, to take that consideration and really make it record here, because we don't want to do this. And then all of a sudden it seems like every time we turn around, there's a problem, you know, but you know the people better than we do. You work with them.
And I think if you have like 4 department heads or 4 people that are on equal, that might be more of an issue, but with everybody subordinates, you can kind of, you know, take care of that. So.
Well, my opinion would be to let's move forward and see what the scope of work and what the cost would be. And then we can modify or discuss from there. That's my opinion.
I agree.
I agree with that. Find out what it costs.
No.
And no, I wasn't trying to, I wasn't trying to go to the top scale, but I was just saying, hey,
No, wait.
You know, when we were talking about it, then it was like, whoa, that's a whole
Yeah.
lot different than
but I
like.
think there's like three options, minor modifications, moving in as it is, and then
Yes.
going all out and doing, that was kind of the
When we
way I
get the
wanted
scope
to
of work, we can see
proceed.
what we need to work with,
That's
budget
right.
wise, and for what's best for the department.
I think he's holding the request for all the marble and stainless steel and all that for later. Yeah.
Granite countertops, that's really what it's all.
Yeah.
Black out front, Danny Stevens building.
I don't know about all that now.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Well, the coroner is interested in building C, but like I said, before we move forward on that one, it does have to have remediation. I'll be working on a scope of work with that and get it out to Penco and Serpro. That's probably gonna take 30 to 45 days to see what that cost is gonna be.
And that's upstairs and downstairs, so both floors need, okay.
You said 9,000 square feet.
It's roughly 4,500 on the first floor, so times two, about 9,000 square feet, so it's gonna be costly.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what that's gonna come in at, but it's gotta be put out for at least advertisement bid, and Serpro and Penco are the only two remediators I know of in the county that we've dealt with.
We gotta do that, so you're gonna go ahead and put that out.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Regardless, it needs to be done, otherwise it's just gonna be
Right.
a worse
gonna
building.
get worse, yeah.
So we did have an independent tester come
Yeah.
down, they took 9 samples,
Occupied.
and I mean, you can walk in, you can smell, I
Hmm.
mean, I knew it was penicillin in it just by walking in the door,
Yes.
so. Luckily, no one's in there, but it's just taking care of the remediation part of it.
So did he have any ideas of,
Yeah,
wanted to
that's part of
explain
it.
anything of what the plan was, or?
Well, he's looking at doing a building C, he's got quotes for making it into a morgue in the back area, and I'll let Dennis
Downstairs, more?
explain more about what he's got there, cause
I've got all the quotes here, for all the morgue equipment we're gonna need in there. Right now, we have like a, three-person body refrigerator at the old hospital. I think you're familiar with it. And we're having problems with getting larger people in there. So I got a quote for a 10-foot by 10-foot body cooler that'll hold 10 bodies. And I think we need to move toward the future for that. And, I got, 3 different quotes from 3 different companies here on it. And
Y'all have
John
copies
got
of
it
this?
too.
Y'all have copies of this?
I have copies, nobody just dropped it off to me today.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, just tell us what the quotes are.
Yeah.
And then.
Can you tell us how much that is?
For the equipment and everything, it's 23,000, or with shipping almost 27,000 from one. And from another vendor, it is $34,345.
And that's for the 10 for 10.
Yes, and the third one for 27,389.70. So roughly 30,000 ballpark for equipment.
That's just purchasing it, shipping and delivering, that's not setting it up and installing.
Correct.
So we don't have to.
On that, setting up, installing it, I talked with Lee with the county, and he said he can, put the body cooler together, he knows how to do that. And that's the only thing that has to be set up is that, the body cooler.
We will. Just panels, right?
What's that? Yeah, they're the panels.
Just panels, you
Yes.
just lock them together and stuff.
And then we had to get another quote, because that building gotta have a standby generator to run the cooler if the power goes out. I got quotes on that, he also has the quotes on it.
Yeah.
Well, if we go down to, let's get a quote to install it too. I think we got plenty for Lee to do at the jail, right? I mean, he could be
We do.
full-time work there. We can just
Well, I
get,
get a quote for
thank you.
What was the cost for a generator?
Generator, your cheapest quote is 40,193. That's if we install a propane tank ourselves. And then the other two, the second one from Perkins, that one's from C&A Generators. Perkins is 77,930. And then Generator Super Center, I think they're about 88,000. Well, they put tax in there, so 83,
Is that just for? the
255.
big is the generator? He called Generac, the key TV commercial people.
Generac is the
Yeah,
cheapest
wait,
one.
people.
That's the 40,193.
That's what that is? Okay.
Perkins, I think, on that is
You can
if
do a
we-
whole house. for
Yeah,
that.
and when I was talking to John about it, he said we want to power the whole building instead of just the corner.
Yeah, we're gonna do, one, we might well do the whole building. There's no need just to set up for one little location in there.
I would suggest looking at the whole complex, elections as well. Guess they need backup power. If you're gonna do it, look at powering all 3 buildings versus.
Then that needs to look at a good diesel, big diesel generator.
Well, those were propane, so that would hold up well too.
Yeah, I think Perkins and the other one, both of them didn't included propane services, and I think they were talking about with CNA, if we put a propane tank out there, that dropped it down to 40,000. That's a generator.
77 and then 80.
I've been in that building. If we were to do that, would the morgue need to be the top floor and the bottom floor, or would we be able to use part of it like for a warming shelter for when the weather's, I mean, I haven't been in it to know. Is that something that it could be dual purpose, or would it only need to be the whole building be the?
Yeah, that's what John and myself were talking about, maybe using the top part of the building for the warming center, cooling center, the bottom part for the morgue. But there's if you look at the front of the building to the left side, there's a garage with a roll door. That's where the cooler needs to go,
Right.
because it's got a drain in the floor, and there's no drains in the floor in the basement.
And you can I had the same idea of warming, cooling center, maybe on the bottom and put the corner up at the top.
Okay.
But the top has got all the old
You can put a
pathway,
pump drain in.
Yeah.
everything, but it's got a lot of potential in that building, but first, like I said, we have to get it remediated before we can even
Yeah,
try to build out a scope of
I'm
work.
just
But
thinking if we could do it multi-purpose and it'd be
Yes.
good for the community as well.
that's where the warming and cooling shelter idea came in from. Is like, we opened one up in Manchester, we had one right here in the center of Greenville.
Right.
But you look at it just for the Morgan, about $75,000 with a generator. And that's not including the removal of all the old pathway detention set up at the top floor. So
So you're talking about
about 75,000.
putting
Yes.
the morgue on top floor.
That would I would recommend. The bottom floor is wide open space for.
Is it gonna require additional supporting to hold that thing up?
No, where we're gonna put the body cooler in the garage, it's on a concrete slab by itself. There's nothing under that concrete slab.
Yeah, just
It's
a
on the
little.
dirt.
I only think it's a low bearing wall in there either. So it's just a wall coming down.
It's on concrete floor, it's probably before the basement starts or something.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's
Mhm.
good.
And the quote for the generators, that's including the rewiring and automatic switch over.
That's everything.
That's
That's
everything.
everything.
That automatically goes,
Yes, that's everything.
it's about right.
Did you get a quote from the guy in Gay, Perkins?
Perkins was 77,930.
The one in Sonoy, I got a quote from him.
Your Perkins is generator.
Yeah, generator. Yeah.
Yeah.
All three of those quotes are on
Is it-
generator.
And we'd have to put it out for, a formal bid as well. We would make sure that all three would bid on the exact same style of generator.
Right.
Cause I don't know, I mean, I just got these today and, I mean, I couldn't tell you if they're apples or apples to oranges. So we need to make sure they're all bidding on the same generator. And I may get the price, roughly in that 40,000 range for all three of them, but, roughly 75,000 just for the equipment itself.
Now, is that transfer switch still on that building? I know it's built for generator. I had,
Well, what they had, we checked it. What they had was a generator, just pull some lights, and that's that. It was a small generator. And when they left, they took the generator, transfer switch and everything.
So we ended here with, we can't do much more until we get remediation done. You're getting on that, you're gonna get a quote for install. And that's pretty much where we are on this one.
We are, cause I got the
Okay.
third party remediation plan back Thursday, looked at it Friday, and there is needed
Yeah.
remediation.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So it's now dealing with Serpro, for that big of a building, you're probably looking $30,000-$40,000 be my estimate on that one.
Take a few
Penco,
weeks too.
maybe a couple, half that maybe, because they've been pretty fair, reasonable working with the county. Both of them maybe 30,000, I don't know, but you're looking at a few weeks, plus they have to find the source of the leak that's causing the moisture to get in, seal it off. And depending on what all's in there, if they have to do any repairs.
All right, anything else you want to go over? with?
No, sir, not right now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
And when I mentioned the building repairs for this building, I said SPOS, I meant general funds, because we're talking about general funds. And here, we're gonna do it all, let's do it all in a bundle of getting everything done if we're looking at completing something.
So is that what we need to talk about now, is this building?
No, this building is just, I'm gonna I got quotes already for the outside, low lying area, the carpet, the gutters. We've already did the refresh on the outside. I'm just waiting to get another quote and bring back to the board for that one.
There were new gutters put on this building not too many
It's
years.
to raise them up a few inches, about an inch or two, because it's the way they're installed now, the water's shooting right over them.
They were put on.
We can watch them right outside when it's raining, the water was going right over.
And raised the roof.
And that may help some with Miss Jane once they're raised up a little bit, but when I talk to a contractor, you can see it laying low. And the last rain we had, you go out and you see the puddle where it's just coming down that hill and it just needs to be built back up and put a fresh drain.
I noticed somebody killed our grass back here recently when they, I guess, pressure washed or sprayed something. Is there
On the
something
back hall or the
back
very
here
back?
between the parking lot and the building? By the sidewalk. I mean, it's just,
It's like they sprayed like instead of wanting to weed eat or use like an edger, they sprayed the weed killer all along the front and the back. Like if you look out that front door, like a foot out, they killed all the grass around all the concrete.
I'll check on that because I want to aware if anybody's spraying anything.
Yeah, it looks like they've sprayed some chemical to kill the weeds back and it's all around all the concrete. So I don't know if they pressure washed the concrete and the chemical did it or sprayed weed killer and killed it. It's around the flagpole, everything.
I'll check on that and see. I want to aware anybody sprayed anything. I didn't request anything be
well,
sprayed.
it looks like, so it been, and there brings me another, looking out that door at the tall grass. Who is responsible for maintaining that here?
The inmates,
When do we schedule them to do that?
Like come every week.
yes. And Warden Jenkins parks his car in the back. Usually when he sees the grass is tall, he'll get the inmate crew out here to cut the grass.
Can we put it on a different kind of schedule or something to where it doesn't look like that when we have citizens coming into a meeting?
Yes, I just don't think the inmates come on Monday. Is that right, Brian?
Well, Friday would have worked for that. I mean, you see what I'm talking about? You look out the door there, you can see me, and we got all the citizens coming to where we.
Yeah, we get them on the schedule, get it cut before the
We
meeting
need
and
to
that.
present better than that.
I don't think Friday and Monday, is that when we don't have them? So yeah, we
Your
can,
Tuesday through Thursday.
but yeah, I can check.
I'm not trying to be super critical. I'm just.
I agree with you. Usually
I mean-
it's cut.
I saw it when it come on.
Yeah, and then if we need to replace that in the bag, then, I mean,
Yeah, I'll get on and get that done.
They're gonna do it every 2 weeks. They need to do it right before the meeting.
well, yeah, so we don't say anything, yeah, I guess, but I mean. It needs to look better than that when we're conducting business.
So next we got is the 911 equipment with radio consoles. This was just given me earlier by Director Jones.
Yeah, because.
Well, you'll mind, I'll back to my computer, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So. Here they just give you sticker shock on the first page right there. One thing that we have to understand is the radio system at now can get very complex. What we have now, we have these awesome radios that we purchased and most everybody's very happy with them. But we're still having to back them up with the infrastructure. The infrastructure is being built out. As far as up here at the Texaco, that's coming along very well. But one thing at 911 is the actual what's called the console radio system. That's what the 911 operators actually talk on. And it's very, very complex. Basically, it's a GUI radio this interface that they talk on. They're plugged into the headset. They can answer the telephone. They can talk on the radio at the same time. If you're talking to them on the phone and they see up the radio, it mutes you to where you don't hear what they say. So just things like that. In the back, there's actual just radios that connect and convert to the computer. So in this, what you're looking at is currently what we do is we're paying for, it's called the core system. And we connect to Tallahassee and we pay $5 per radio per month for that. What we're wanting to do here and we need to do at some point is we need to bring the core here. You need purchasing a core. To where it's in our back room of a server that sits there at the 911 center. The problem that we're having currently right now is just the length of time it takes for that connection to get back and forth. And of course, if something's cut, they lose their signal. The wonderful thing about these radios is that they'll do multiple different types of frequencies, and they're basically cellular radios in one. And one of those is a VHF, which is the old type of radio that we currently have. They'll also work with 800, 700, which is what Coweta and our neighboring counties have. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because it's important for you guys to understand how all this comes together in the end, and why an investment like this could be very beneficial to us, and be able to allow us to utilize the features of these radios, what they have available.
Can I stop you for a minute?
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to be rude, and what I'm about to say, I don't intend to be rude. And I'm afraid it might sound that way, but I struggle with every 12 months or so, we're talking about radios. We just approved a significant amount of money a few months ago for new radios and things to go on. And then you yourself just mentioned the infrastructure is coming along, and we entered a deal with kudzu and the towers. And so they're building the infrastructure stuff on the towers out here. Then we're going to do it out here on this tower. And that's to make these new radios we just got work. They wouldn't fully functional until we can get that done. Where does it end at, and where I just have a hard time believing we need another $830,000 worth of radio equipment. We haven't even finished installing and doing what we agreed to do less than 6 months ago.
This is a different component from what we've done. We haven't touched this in 11 years. This was purchased back in 2015 with SPOS dollars. I believe you had just come on the board, Brian. Give me Commissioner Prickle. And what we have now is now obsolete. I mean, as far as can we make it work? Oh, sure, we can make it work. But the reality of it is we need to be looking at the future as far as trying to get everything to function the way it's supposed to be, with all the technology that we have to our avail. And yes, you're right. And I've said that, every time we turn around, we're looking at more radios, but it's not just radios per se. It's the system that, like, 911 can control it from there. I'll give you a good example. We used to be on the other system that we had in there just recently. We could tell where the deputies were. We could do all kinds of things. We could put everybody on the same channel. We lost that, okay, when we went to this system, because
Wait, how did we lose that? Because that was the reason for us to upgrade everything so y'all could communicate, know where they're at and so forth. And you're saying we lost it?
yeah, we lost it.
Why would we have done? I'm lost.
Well, because everybody was talking about the radios in the field. Okay, and yes, I'll be the first one to say they're basically disposable radios. I mean, they're cheap little Chinese radios. They get wet, they open up, okay? But for the most part, they did their job. But like I said, they did have a factor in there to where it could put, responders in danger, both fire and sheriff's office.
You talking about the new radios we just purchased, or the ones
No,
we had
ma'am,
previously?
the old ones. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought these were not that problem. And didn't we just enter the agreement with what was the company that just came in and did the demonstration or the presentation?
Smart Cop.
Smart Cop, that has them where they link exactly where the person is.
With the CAS system, they would need a iPhone. They're working on an Android system. So as long as the deputy had an iPhone on them, we would know exactly where they are, fire. As long as they had an iPhone, we would know. But I think the Harris radio now has a component for a dollar amount that they'll be able to track in the CAS system.
So we just did that.
We had, no, when we get Smart Cop back, when we get Smart Cop up and running, we'll have that back.
How is that coming along? Do you know?
We just made the first payment for the software and they confirmed it today.
So
It should be starting I think they just started the calls within the last 2 weeks, I believe, the initiation call.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be going forward with the implementation here very shortly.
Let me just say, I was just as shocked at this price as you were, because that's the first time I saw it was today.
Well, I mean, I'm just
Well,
asking because you made we lost where our deputies were or our firemen, and that concerned me. So I wanted to make sure we were on board with getting that back in track for their safety. So that's what I was verifying, that we're for the safety of our employees.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that that was already being addressed and we're
And I,
not.
and I apologize if I kind of got you off course on that, but
Right.
I want to focus on just the fact that it does much more than just track radios, but
Well, their safety was what was important. That's why I wanted to stop there and get that
that's
cleared
correct.
up.
It is important. And now they've got the radios in the field, okay, that they don't fry on you when it rains, okay? They work very well, in the rains. And they're I can say they're the top of the line. They are. They can be very proud of what they have in the field. We just need to make sure that we have the infrastructure to support it. And that's what we're working on. I'm not trying to tell you guys that nothing has come to a halt. Everything that they've told you is in the process. The tower up on the hill is, I didn't want to get too much off of this onto that, but I think you guys deserve a report on that as well. The tower up on the hill is coming very well. It's going to link the Forest Road Tower, which is out there around the 500 block of Forest Road, and then down there at the mountain in Warm Springs next to the hotel. So having said that, we got what's called a propagation report, and that tells us kind of how our signal will be. So again, I'm going to tell you, if you ask me when does it ever end, it really doesn't. This is just something that has to continuously be maintained. And added to. Now, here's the question: how much do we maintain it? How much do we add to it? It's a lot of money. I get it, but there's several different ways that we can go about it. The biggest thing, like right now, that I can see, the dispatch consoles themselves is $343,000. That's basically the interface, how they can talk to everybody in the field. Because right now the old system, it's out of date. Excuse me, I got distracted there for a minute.
When you say out of date, does that mean it's just old? Because I understand there's new technology. I mean, I have an iPhone 11, I think. So technically it's out of date with what's out there today. But it still works.
Support it.
They don't support it at all.
They
There's no
don't support it.
secondary vendor that supports
If I
it.
want to have a service contract Motorola, they specifically put in there if they can find parts. And they're talking like on eBay and stuff like that.
So how many consoles are we talking about at 343?
6 consoles. And we have had a point to where we have used all of them. You had asked me one time, Commissioner Worsley, why can't we train more than 4 people at one time? Because I don't have room for a trainee to sit with 4 consoles. With 6, it's possible. But then again, too, with 6, it's also easier for us to handle disasters where we're not sitting 2 people at one console.
Which brings me to another question. It's totally off topic, well, not off topic, but different from this. Would building C, one of the floors there, be better served as the 911 center and the warming and cooling station in the current 911 center? If we're talking about infrastructure that way. You have more space than you do over there today.
Well, in my opinion, okay, you're talking about a major overhaul as far as the move the 911 infrastructure over there, because currently the 911 center houses the main server room for the county, which is the hub, which is where you need your 911 center to be logged into. You need that 911 center in that main hub. In my opinion, no. I mean, years ago we tried to do some moving around and stuff like that, but
And the 911 center currently, that's correct me if I'm wrong, that's a 4 to 5
building, like it is 8 more.
You're talking about, yeah,
It would probably sustain a direct hit from a
It was a bomb shelter, right?
tornado or something like that.
it's above, you know, and the thing about it is it's got 12-inch poured concrete exterior walls, you know, and 8-inch interior with rebar every 6 inches. Built by inmates to, you know, incarcerate inmates.
So structurally, it's better to keep it there in case of an emergency. Makes
Absolutely.
sense.
That's where every one of y'all need to go. If you happen to be here and, you know, if you have time to get to across the street, you know, you need to come to the Knowledge Center.
I just wish in the future, like you talk about all these radios we discussed all last year, upgrade and so forth. But nobody mentions at that point, we don't know none of this electronic stuff that you're talking about. And you seem to be very knowledgeable, and that's great. You should be. But no one takes time to go. But keep in mind, if we do all this here, we're going to have to start focusing on this here. And that's why it sounds like,
I was
like
under
what
the
you're saying,
impression,
it seems like every time we turn around, we're just going back. But why aren't you getting heads up on
and
it?
that's exactly what I told John.
You know, so we noticed, okay, we need to start thinking about that, not just all of a sudden, boom, another big purchase.
That's why I asked it that way, because it's just like every few months, $250,000, $250,000.
Yeah,
Nobody has an
expected-
appetite for that.
I
you know.
expected your response.
Well, not taking anything away from you, but all the years that I've been here, we've never had an actual audit of the 911 system. And every year it comes up, and every year I get a little pissed at the price that it cost. To be perfectly honest, I always have, and I've always questioned Brent till couldn't do it anymore. But John, is there a company that comes in and looks at the infrastructure of a 911 system, says, here's what you have that works together, here's what you have that doesn't work together, and really and truly here's what you need? Because there's a lot of piecemealing everything together. And if we had a company that specialized in this particular type of system and issues, I think to lay it out in black and white for us would help us to understand more.
We can, and that's what I told Brandon, give me some hard quotes, just see what it's at, but we would have to put out a scope of work, and we would have a company come and say, this is what will work.
Yeah, but I don't want it
Get you
just on
completely-
this. I
No,
want
it would be the whole
everything we
911.
have and use together throughout the county.
Because what I just gave you is what Dean gave us for the coverage. On your mobile, you can see the 3 towers that Brian just mentioned: Forest Road, Greenville, PSC, Warren Springs. Everything in white, you have coverage on mobile.
Within that orange band.
So when all 3 of them are up and running outside
Make
mobile.
sure everybody understands what they're looking at. I looked at it. I know that. I looked at it. What you're looking at basically is when somebody cannot get out on the LTE part of their radio.
Right.
So just so you know, on LTE, you can get out on the moon if you've got cell signal. When you don't have cell signal, that's what you're looking at right there. They can switch off to the RF radio frequency side of the radio. Okay, good old fashioned. Okay. When they key up, that in white is basically where they have coverage. Now you have indoor and you have outdoor. So yeah, outdoor, you're pretty much gonna be okay. Now, here's the thing, we're working on, we have other towers that we're bringing in on this. So that will improve. And as that improves, so will their coverage to where we don't have the issues of dropped coverage and no coverage. Like, you know, just like if you don't have I mean, you live up on the north of Michigan Canyon, you know that cell phone signal goes in and out. Well, it's the same thing for these radios, these LTE radios, in and out. What's that? Go ahead.
Outside, you're looking at the 4 corners or what we're still working to get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still gonna be spotty in those 4 corners.
And one of those is Mount Carmel Road, the 5,000 block of Mount Carmel Road. We have a very good tower up there. That's probably gonna be the next one, pull into the salute. But for right now, there's gonna be 3 main towers that they don't have to change channel. They'll just go on there and they'll key up, and we're kind of getting off of what we were talking about, but I'm glad that we were able to give you a little bit of an update on this, so you guys understand what this is at, because I don't think you guys, you know, in some cases have had all the information. But, you know, the reality of it is the 911 system and its equipment is very complex. Very complex because, you know, there's a telephone system behind it that we're working to keep together.
And are we gonna go on the new tower that got approved down across from the airport? Wasn't that part of the deal too, was gonna try, that's gonna help down there in that bottom area?
Don't understand, John.
If we ask that, we have rights. to
Yes.
Something on that.
That's what I'm saying.
We now have always, anytime we license a tower, we have the ability to go up on it.
So that's what I'm saying. So are we working or focused on getting something on that tower too? Because they said they were, when they get down in that bottom area, they lose everything.
Yeah. Not yet, because I don't think it's been constructed.
It's not
I
up.
know, I'm just saying, when it goes.
When
gets
it
built.
will, yes.
Okay.
The next
It
one,
will be on, yeah, it will be on our radar.
yeah, I think Mountville,
Are we currently
Is the next
using
one.
that on every existing tower in the county?
yes, sir, we have a right.
I
to
know we
put
have a
our
right.
code out.
Are we actually exercising that right on the towers that are in the county?
Not on initial build out. Initial build out is Forest Road, PSC, and connected Warren Springs.
I will
That's
say
what we
this,
approved.
up until Theron Gay came, it was not part of what we did to request or demand to have access to any tower.
You have
Other
to
than-
be a zoning.
Right.
You don't have an automatic right.
Right.
to co-locate.
So until that
But if one
point,
comes in, you should
Right.
automatically say, condition number one is we get to co-locate.
Right.
but up until Theron
Yeah.
coming in, we did not have that in place.
Yeah, so
So there may be
all that-
powers we don't have access to.
But that's something that can get done in Coweta.
John, what's that costing to get this put on this tower right here?
PSC,
Free, something,
No,
Mm-mm.
to get the
Yeah.
building, the repeater and everything, but.
because we use the FEMA money with that one. So about 135 of it was FEMA's, maybe another 75 or 80.
I think it's like,
$110,000 is what it's costing to put the equipment on those existing towers. I think that's where we haven't been using those other towers, so we don't have the money to put the equipment there.
when you say we don't have the money, $210,000 put on the tower, but you want 800 thousand dollars to revamp all the equipment we got that we can't use on the tower. So I'm not trying to attack what you said in person. We got the money. It's gonna cost the money no matter what we do. So why don't we make it do an audit, like you're saying, of the system, and then audit of the towers that we do have access to? What would it cost us to get them on there? Does that improve the coverage we have today? And then that gets us further down, better accessibility with the current equipment, and in a better position to go to the next level of new equipment when we do get it.
Because there may be actual
Because-
towers in the county that we don't have access to, that maybe we could request access that would help too.
Yeah,
The one in
I'm
Mount,
sure they.
And they're probably happy to give it to us because they might want to do something
Right,
again. in the
yeah.
future.
the one in
Wait.
Mount you referenced with kudzu, we don't have an agreement with kudzu or Diverse to be on that tower in Mount Hoyt. Okay.
gotcha.
I wanted to make sure, because I know that we didn't,
I'll,
we do,
we're working on it.
we are on it.
That's what I thought, that we approved that
I think we
and we
were,
did it.
Yeah,
We
Dean
don't have an
came,
agreement for the internet yet because we
No.
had,
no,
but I.
with that
think we
tower.
were On that tower.
I thought we
yeah,
were.
Dean with Dean's two-way, who's now with Williams, proposed an outline of, we need to do these towers first to get infrastructure built, and then we bring on the other towers where signal is weak.
So let me just explain something a little further then, okay? The repeaters that we have in place, the repeater is basically the radio that does all the work at the tower, that repeats the information when you key the radio up, comes in and repeats back out. Those are older, and what we've done is we have replaced the 3 with the newer modern ones that basically you don't have to change a channel. It uses the same frequency as it stands now. As you move through the county and the signal becomes weaker, you have to change the channel. So north, south, east, west is what you guys have now. Oh, no, I have a west. Central's where, yeah, center. So having said that, that is why it isn't like we can just go throw up new repeaters. These are very costly. Do you remember how much one of these sites are costing us to do?
We just went through that, about $200,000,
Yeah.
right?
For the whole setup, microwave, generator,
Yeah, we just had
everything.
that conversation.
So you have to have that at each site that you want to do this at.
Right.
Which is fun and good, like I said, in phases. But that's why I'm trying to get you guys to help or trying to help you guys understand that we're not just trying to dump a bunch in your lap. I mean, we're trying to come to you this within phases. You know, this is the golden, let's get this is what we need, yada, yada, yada. There's other routes that we can go with this,
So
or
with
there's
that,
different phases.
sorry, but with that, if we do that plan, we do not need to do the $200,000 per tower plan in the rest of the
No.
county.
Yes.
We do?
This is all knowledge.
But that's what I'm.
This is just, Commissioner, this is just 911. Always. That's all in the building, okay? This helps control everything from a central point. And that's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand, that there's so many different aspects of this project. And I'll be happy to sit down and go through every part of it, however much you want to learn. But I think it's important for you guys to have the understanding to be able to make an educated decision on what we have and what we need and how things work. That's the biggest thing, is to understand how the systems work. Used to be you just picked your radio up, you talked on it, you caught, the tower that's across the county, and if you had it, you had it. If you didn't, you didn't. They made a bunch of changes over the years where they weakened the signal. So anyways, as far as this goes, there's other options, I'm sure, but like I said, right now, this is kind of what ties everything together in the long run.
The thing we did before with the Harris's, that was for the handheld radio.
Yes, sir.
That's all that was for.
That's it. And that's the thing about it, is they're awesome radios. They're great. You've given your public safety personnel in the field an awesome tool, and it's working. It's just not anywhere near.
So what you talking about now is like the base station.
Here you go. That's one way to put it. Yeah.
Is there any grant money available for this base station?
I've reached out to Miss Tara, and she is looking into that. That's one option for funding, is any grants.
And I'll agree with Brian. I think we need to maybe get in touch with somebody that, could see, is this what we need, or
Just put it all together.
the whole program.
I don't disagree with that. Like I said, now they're expensive. You're probably looking up for $60,000. For something.
I guess I'm close on.
Yeah,
some
I mean, I
things
just,
that-
all the years that I've been here, we've never had that done. It's been, let's replace this or the CAD, let's do this, let's put it here, let's bring in this, these radios of that. It's not matching up with this, so let's just get it uniform.
Would there be any funding through the next gen? I know they were gonna open up a account or something like that.
Yeah, they're working on that statewide
Yeah.
as they're moving.
They
closer.
approved next gen. They just got to figure out how to fund it now.
And they said there would be money available through the state. So we'll start watching for that. Chief Stephen, speaking about the radios, have your firemen, do they have theirs now? Are they,
All of them, no.
some do though? Are they,
There's a handful out, they were doing licensing. I had to send my whole group of radios back to Tallahassee. So they had to go back for some kind of update, and I've been about a couple of weeks. Remember I told you I sent them back, John?
that was like a month,
Yeah.
2 months ago?
That was after the question you asked me last time about, did they get them the very next day? They said they forgot to put a firmware on it, so they had to give them back to Tallahassee.
So are we still paying the full, whatever we're paying while they have the radios and they're not functioning like they should? Because we need to contact them and negotiate that.
But it's half up front and half after they've been in.
Or whatever percentage. If we don't have it, it's not functioning. It don't take effect because we have it at possession of the radio is fully functional.
I got
They shouldn't be making anything off of this.
Decided where they're going and how they're being dispersed. A couple of them are giving out. We're bringing everybody in and showing them the functions on the actual radio, A and D and all the zones and all that kind of stuff. So it's handing them to somebody. And Mark Stradlin is doing that for us. So he's in the process of going through and teaching, how to use radios.
And we have generally 6 stations manned, correct? Is it something that instead of issue it to the person, we could issue it to the station so that we made sure that every station had one or two in there so that we could start using them when they come
Yeah.
back?
That's what we're going.
Okay, cause I thought you said before you were trying to issue them to a person, that's why you were waiting on
No,
more
I'm
to
issuing
come.
them to the volunteers because they don't go by the station and pick up a radio, they're sharing them. But
Right.
my paid stations, they're getting.
They're
one
staying
per
there,
station.
okay.
So,
So you don't know when they're coming back from their new update yet?
no, they come back.
We have them.
Some out.
They're
We're in
here.
the process of issuing the rest
Okay.
of them.
All right,
Yeah, Mark Spradlin's going through some training with the fire on how to use it. But we have them all in house. They're all programmed. They're all ready to go.
has the sheriff's department had any trouble with theirs?
Not that I'm aware of.
Updates?
They didn't, so for some reason, they didn't do it, when I asked about that, I was like, everything gotta go back. And they're like, no, so I don't know if it's a different style, different branding, they're the same radios.
I thought the only difference was one was waterproof and one wasn't.
Yeah,
Was the
mine are
only-
yellow and intrinsic was safe, and theirs are not,
Right.
so I don't know what the deal was, but I had to send all my units. back.
They've had some bugs and some, basically it's user error and education. I've got
That's where
it.
I don't want it to happen on mine, I want everybody
Right.
to know exactly.
Well,
I
that's
got
not, the fire department was having, I was curious what the sheriff's department was having.
Because of what he's saying with the, not the cab, the console, we have an emergency button on that radio. If you hold that emergency button, what he's got now, it does nothing. But if we hold that emergency button, if he's got the integrated stuff, it'll show location and what radio went into emergency mode. And it'll also, like if it's a hostage situation or something like that, you hold the emergency button, it will activate the mic so they can listen in a situation that we got somebody in troubles, and it just records what's going on.
These radios have features that we can't even access because we don't have the newer
That's
CAD
correct.
system.
That's right.
Correct. We don't have the infrastructure yet. They can do a lot of great things, but we got to get the infrastructure in place.
That's what I was saying is these things they're wonderful, but. I mean, we've the back end of it, And I mean, we're not the only ones, that have done this, where you buy the radios and you kind of pick away at the infrastructure. But, like I said, that's.
Would we have to get all six at one time or?
Yeah.
And you said mainly what you needed was the consoles.
I would say yes, I'm sure the price would go up if we're sitting here piecemealing because, but the other functions in here, we don't necessarily have to get right away. But we need these, they need to be put into kind of phases.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I was very, at the beginning, vocal about is we need to make sure you guys understand that these are phases that we're going through. And like I said, it's up to y'all, to either approve it, not approve it, or maybe come up with, some other ideas or plans and,
But once we
Well, that's
get,
what we just did, right? We understand what our role is and we just requested that we get somebody to tell us exactly what plan we need to take. So
I'll work on that again, back to the commissioners. Well, thank you, Brandon. We're gonna move forward to LRA and road paving so we can get to our next meeting.
thank you, Brandon.
thank you.
So out of the general fund surplus, the last item we on here is road paving. We can either do additional in-house or we can consider pricing out roads to complete. And I think Brian is, how many roads you have left up to 20 list? So, almost completed with his first 20 of in-house. And that goes into the next discussion of LRA funds. Out of the 24, we have about 300,000 left. 25, we're waiting for the RFP to go out. And then 26, we're estimated to get $1,018,607.13. And that will be determined by the board if we want to outsource those roads or do them in-house.
On the LRA, just let me make sure I understand, because I'm for the minute. On the LRA, the 2024.
300,000.
Still have 300,000. The 2025, we have already received, and we are trying to send that RFP out, but we've got to get a complete scope of work. I have to get estimates because I won't know what to send it out, so I've got to get some specialized estimates. I know Brian went out and looked at it, but I'm gonna need something a little bit more in depth. So we can make sure when we put the bid out that it's bid properly. And I'm just thinking, you're already doing the remainder that was on that list for like the bridges and culverts, and we talked about the Dallas Mill. I think just by the first run at it and look at it, you're probably gonna need to use all of the 25 LRA plus the additional. For, just to finish that,
Remaining balance of
that
24.
list, yes.
And that's to finish the list
That's
that we
the
already
list
had.
that Already started, yes.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, just wanted to put that out there. But I
Okay.
think when we added Dallas Mill, it's gonna take it up. And I know that Pigeon Creek was one of them, and that one was already pretty highly estimated, so.
But that's touching, that's right for rooms. Yes,
Yeah, it's a big one,
It's
Yeah.
gone for box culverts.
yeah.
26 is the one
Okay.
we need to apply for, so we need to know if it's gonna be roads, culverts, bridges. So County Clerk Stevens can submit that to GDOT so we can go ahead and put it in.
Well, that's the thing, it's so if we're about to complete the list we had, was that the full list of every culvert and bridge that needed to be done?
Other than what we had already assessed before, that was still remaining. I don't know if there's additional ones. I have not. I
That
don't
was,
know.
that was the one done in 24.
My perception of that list was that was the list, all encompassing
That
list.
was what we, cause when we submitted for 24, I literally submitted every one of them that
Right.
California had went in and looked at. We got like 4 or 5 out of that list. And then what was remaining, and then we talked about Dallas Mill.
Right.
So I know that one, I don't know how much you estimated that at, but it was a good bit.
Well, hold on for a second. So we're saying, you just said we did an all encompassing list.
All except 3 of them on the list, plus we added Dallas Mill, we talked about.
What is the 3 of them on the, that's what
Pigeon
I'm
Creek
sorry.
is one we did not finish.
Okay,
JW
JW
done.
done, we did not do. I don't have the list in front of me, pulled it out 7 times and I can't remember. And then we added Dallas Mill.
There's one more from the original
And
24
there was
list.
one from
and that's what I'm saying. So where's the original 24 list? Because it sounds like to me, we never did an all encompassing list.
25,
You're saying with referring to a list and then, but then this one wasn't on there and this one wasn't on there, then we didn't have a full list.
yeah, 24 was, and Clerk Stevens went to go get it, but 24 had 7 or 8 bridges and culverts on it. 4, I believe, were done, which let the remaining ones we allocated 2025 LRA to finish off the 24 assessment list.
So, I mean, which is great. That's what I'm saying. So we're gonna knock out the list we had and that's fantastic.
And is that all?
What's left to do? we
That's
need
the
to know
question.
that
Is there
before-
more than those 7? Probably. All right, more likely there is, but we have $1 million in the LRA for 2026, and that's the thing that we want to spend it on bridges and culverts, or do we want to put it towards road paving? Because that's no match from the state.
And that's why I'm asking, so how many is there 1? Okay. Or is
Out
it
of
5?
24
Makes a
list,
difference.
it's completed. So out of whatever's remaining in the county, that was something we had to assess in-house and see.
So right now, nobody knows what else is remaining.
No, sir.
Can you figure that out for us? So that-
Bridges and culverts.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's
I know.
highly valuable information for this type meeting, yes.
As I said, there's 3 that I know of that have been on previous lists that weren't assessed. That's 2 of them left from that initial list, which is the box culverts we just talked about,
Pigeon Creek.
Pigeon Creek, JW Dunn. Those are the only 2 that I know of that were submitted at one point that weren't finished. And then we added a Dallas Mill to the bottom of that list. So those are the 3 that I know of for sure that need to be replaced.
And we just said those 3 along with the remaining. of
There's
the
one more
24
for 25.
Hang on, let me finish this first. The 2024 list remaining, plus those 3 you just named, will take up the balance of 24 and all of 25.
Easy.
Yes.
Okay. So the 3 that we know of that were not on the list, we just named, are there any more?
I've
So-
got, this is the original list, and y'all tell me John Brown and Gordon May's done, correct?
Yes.
So Trammell Road we did. JW Dunn's remaining, we'll talk about
Right,
that.
we just mentioned that.
That's on 25.
Yep.
Pigeon Creek Road,
That's
We just talked about
25.
that one.
Dallas.
and Dallas Mill, must just be 3 then, Dallas Mill, yeah.
All right, so as far as anybody in this room right now knows, those are the only 3 left to do from that list.
Yes, and when we estimated this for the 25, Pigeon Creek came in at 470,000, that was the Bill's estimate. JW Dunn came in at 80,000.
That's all it's gonna take for JW Dunn.
Bridge is actually, the deck itself is fine.
We're gonna remove the deck, redo the footings and set the bridge back down.
Oh my God, okay.
And what did you estimate Dallas?
How much you
Mill?
trying to
It
do?
was gonna be close to the other.
So how much is Trammell?
We've already done Trammell.
Oh, well, how much is Pigeon Creek do we think? I guess we,
It was.
what was 170, the other one's 80 at JW Dunn.
Mill would be
470, 480 as well.
So we had $1,550,000. That's all of this plus a little bit. So there may be 150,000 left over, but that's.
Is that culverts or is that?
Box culverts.
Box
for
culverts.
Two of them, JW will be
Okay,
a
and that's
bridge.
every bridge and culvert in this county will be done.
Well, Pigeon Creeks,
I don't know if every bridge
No,
is gonna be done, but I
It
know
needs to be
Can't
done.
get
it
the
needs to be
box.
done.
That's what he needs
yeah,
to
you'll be
do.
done with it.
That we were given, as far as I know.
That's right. So you can verify that if there's any more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then so we're looking at 2026, $1 million. Right, that's good. I hope, is anybody that's still confused? Is that clear as mud?
When the original one was in with all of these minus Dallas Mill, we estimated 1,920,000. So. I think we did pretty good
That should-
for,
2 years of LRA money, then we got a third round of 26.
Okay, so to summarize this then for everybody that's listening. From the assessed items that we had from the state and current staff as of 2024. We have the funds approved and the project's ready to go that should be by the end of 2026, all will be completed. And you are going to do an assessment of any other new culverts or bridges that need to be addressed that were not included in that list. And now we're determining what to do with 2026 LRA of $1,018,000.
right, I can
Okay.
move forward
Okay.
with, and I'll have to move forward with doing the application.
Application.
Decide what.
We'll get the state report back. They're recently doing it, to get it back. In a month, maybe.
Yeah.
That'll give us a pretty good indication of bridges right off the rip.
July is the deadline to submit 2026 LRA funds. So is it June? Yeah, so we have to come up with a scope.
We need to plan now for this money
Yes.
so that we can get it
Correct.
submitted. That's fine. In my opinion, we have the surplus funds and other that we can say, oh, we'll go ahead and do a project now with LRA. And when the bridge report comes in, we have enough in the surplus or other areas that we could get that done too.
Yeah, and whatever you guys
You just-
decide on, we can vote. I mean, I'd be happy to hold it. I mean, we can vote on it the 26th. I mean, that's fine. That would still give me time to get
Okay.
it submitted.
I'm sorry if that made it worse. It helped me. And I think we got there at the end, but
What's the criteria of grading the ground? The upcoming ones. For the plans. So,
The state ranks them,
okay.
yeah, they have their own scale.
But we got a lot of recurrent bridges that we can't cross. I just didn't know that would be a priority.
We won't do every bridge in the county.
Absolutely. I know. There's a lot of them out there that we can't cross.
But at his point, we do need a list of what those are, where they are, and then what it would cost to get them up to where all, public service vehicles could access them. It'd be nice to have that to use in work sessions as funds came available, but
In the future, slide one or two of those in
Yeah.
every year.
yeah. Okay, so now we need to discuss the $1 million for 2026, is that right?
So I want to do with that.
So when we were in Savannah, we talked with, EMC was there also. And we talked to Chris that comes here. And, we asked a question in this meeting in a work session one time a couple of years ago about doing I think there's a proper name for it, where you just the gravel and tar roads, like most of our roads are, we're done that way, sir.
Chip seal.
Chip seal.
Remember, we did it, and then we couldn't find a company to do it anymore.
Well, we were told by EMC that that's not true. We were told there's only one company in the southeast that does that anymore out of Mississippi. And he says, nope, I got 6 of them that'll come do it for you tomorrow. And it's $50,000 a mile. So I don't,
Yeah, he's like that kind of stuff now.
yeah, I'm not saying we were lied to. I'm just saying that that's new information from what we had at that time. And a lot of these roads, Arbor Chapel type is one in my district that needs some work, has potholes and but it's that type of road that if it was redone the same way, could be done the same way, a lot cheaper. So I didn't know if everybody knew that, and that could be an option as we're thinking that your prices that are in the data we have is just, paving it with asphalt. Maybe that chip seal is a more advantageous option. Because those roads, I mean, some of those roads in the early eighties when they were paved or last,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's all
they're,
about the volume of traffic.
yeah,
If you're gonna chip seal one that's done properly, and
it'll
there's
last for a
two
long time.
people that drive down the road every day, it's gonna last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have we purchased any road counters yet?
No, sir,
See what the traffic is on some of these roads?
have not.
Well, Allenton Road is very high in traffic, cross through road. And we're already putting out the bid, I think already advertising or a contractor to do 2 miles of them. So would it not make, and that's a lot, the Allenton Road's a whole lot longer than 2 miles, would it not make sense? They go in there, how much more could get done
I think they could
on that road? Or that,
For the chip seal?
I mean, I absolutely say you don't want to start Appleton Road not finished.
what's that?
I don't think for any stretch of the imagination, you should start paving on Appleton Road and not finish it.
That's what I'm saying, because
Yeah.
it wouldn't make sense to go 2 miles and just stop and go somewhere else, and then
Whether-
it's just gonna destroy the rest of it. Then
Yeah,
everybody in the county's gonna wanna know, what are we doing?
And they're not gonna want to pave behind us, and we're not gonna want to pave behind them. So it needs to be one person that has the entire job.
That's the reason I was suggesting that. Would it make sense
You
to
want to go with
see how much more they could do?
That's fine, but not for them to do 2 miles unless they do 3.5.
Do we know if
I know the
EMC
bid
has started
opening-
getting
The
the
bid
bids?
opening will be, the 21st, I believe. No,
right.
we talked about it, just the girl.
The worst part is we have discussed Coleman Creek, King Road and Appleton Road, 2 miles. And we have like
21st.
1,300,000-ish.
The bid opening is I'm sorry, Brian, the bid opening is the 21st at 11.
May
So-
21st?
Yes, and EMC will be down here to handle the bid opening. So depending on who the contractor is, it's just kind of like what y'all did with the 25 LMIG. If you've got extra funding after they get done with that, you could possibly add another road or do something like that during that.
How long is it gonna be open? Just to give us an idea when they're gonna
It's
come back.
most
to some
likely to be
prices.
cheaper per mile if
As
you add
soon
more
as you
roads.
close the bid, and then they'll work together, and then we'll present to you, or they will present to you, who y'all want big. I mean, I guess.
Yeah,
how they would
this
do
is
it.
If it's
recommend
stayed open
his-
30 days or if it stayed open a short time or.
It shouldn't be much after the bid open.
Now, we set a bid opening to bring back to the board at the 26th meeting.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, look, I want to say something in reference to the million plus that we're talking about spending. Roads have been an issue forever in this county. Roads will continue to be an issue, but culverts and bridges are safety issues. If you don't get those culverts and bridges replaced, it's a bigger issue than just a road. We can patch a road, we can do whatever to keep it going. But I fully believe we need to spend the money on doing the culverts. We just heard the chief say that there are roads they can't even pass through because of it for safety reasons in this county. So the roads are going to continue to be an issue long after we're all dead and gone when the coroner picks us up. But we need to do something with the culverts as much as we can to get them safe for everybody in the town.
And can we get that data quick enough for you to submit it?
I would think so. If we can give him, Danny, do you know a list of the road that you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, I can, I mean, I don't know about offhand, I can look at our map, see.
But that's two different things, right? You're talking about 3-ton limits. Is that what you're speaking of too?
Anything that we need
Just
to
cover
correct,
in general.
right, culverts is.
Drivers
razor
don't
roads
fix
that
culverts.
need to be addressed quicker.
It's not gonna be the culverts that you have to worry about, because culverts covered in earth. There's not gonna have a weight restriction. He's talking about bridges in particular.
Yeah.
Mostly on dirt roads.
Most of them are,
Okay.
that happen, but I think it's a concrete slab, so it fits speed.
We got a lot of things.
But if you start trying to beat the bridges up
Allen's
to
Mill.
5 or 6 tons, that's gonna cost lots of money, right? I mean, they've been
Bridges
three,
are-
how long
they're
they
not
been,
cheap.
how long they been 3 tons?
Forever.
I'm sure those people on the other side that's having that emergency situation would appreciate the hell out of it.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, most people know that a bridge is 3 tons, they access it from another route. Was that what you do, Chief Stevens?
Yeah, most times, that maybe, is there a couple that's got houses located between two of those bridges, Brian?
No, we do have one Fleming Road.
That'd be the only one.
What's the weight of one of your fire trucks?
Oh, man, it's all,
Huh?
35,000.
Right, and there ain't a bridge in this county that's rated that on these back dirt roads.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's gonna be a lot of bridges.
So I say, even if you bumped them up, you're not gonna go from 3,000 to 30,000 pounds or 25,000 pounds. You might get one bridge done, and that's it.
And the bridges would probably all have to be replaced with box coverings to get to that kind of.
Already the high trucks.
Most of the trucks about
You
32,000.
So you see, that's something you could work with
Yeah.
Ryan on, and y'all find out, like, especially where there's a good population on both sides, that they are a major issue. I mean, I know some of these dirt roads are gonna have bridges, but you may go down them once every 5 years. So that bridge would not be, I'm not saying it's not important, but it's not the top of the priority list, but try to help prioritize the ones that we need to look at quicker. Is that what you were asking for too?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah,
So in a situation where 362 is closed right now,
right, that's a mess.
you know, where that dirt road goes around and crosses, was that Red Oak or White Oak Creek, whichever one of those creeks that is. I can't go through that way, I'd have to go all the way to Gate, turn
Right.
left and go north.
And come back.
You know, backside.
And it delays our response time
Absolutely.
drastically.
Yeah.
But if we can prioritize those that we need to look at quickest, that would be amazing.
All right,
Well,
everybody got anything yet?
we're not. So what are we deciding there?
Brian's gonna
We can
Right.
get, talk to y'all on May
Step.
26th meeting. and-
cover what we need to spend
Ready
in
to vote on.
2026 LRA,
Yeah.
where Allison put it out.
Yeah, I think what they need to know is, do you want the money for bridges and culverts, or do you want it for paving? I think that's the main.
Well, I'm fine either way, as long as we can get it done in time. I mean, that's all I want to make sure of. If we can get it done.
Once we get the money, then we can,
Mm-mm.
But you have to tell them what you're gonna use it for before you get the money.
Correct.
That's the main thing. Is it gonna go bridges and culverts or roads?
It
That's
can be both, but I just need to, I need
she
something.
needs something.
An idea direction. What to
Yes.
put
I mean, if we
down.
can get it together as far as roads and then those bridges and the culverts that we need before that time, we can decide. Cause it's better to me, from what I do for a living, safety more so than just the road.
Like I said, if you're gonna go over your amount, it's fine. We just need to make sure we're getting up to that amount.
Right.
We'll bring a list back on May 26th for the board to consider. Consists of bridge, roads, and culverts.
But we've also got, so we're talking about two different funding sources here for roads and paving. Either the LRA or the surplus.
Correct.
So before we leave roads and paving, do we want to commit any of, I mean, I guess we're saying we don't want to commit. We want to commit the LRA to bridges and culverts and get this information back. Do we want to commit anything else to roads and paving before we move on to the next topic?
Well, the surplus, I think, is a huge topic with the amount of buildings that we have that need to be renovated versus paving.
Okay.
And that's one of the agenda items on the next meeting. Is excess for paving, but it covers the surplus in the general fund.
So, all right, that's fine. We don't want to discuss it now. That's fine.
I think we need to just go ahead and get plenty of quotes up or bids up for that LRA, for the
I just need.
culverts and paving or whatever, and then
Well,
make sure we got enough to cover the money.
he's gonna have you that, right, for the fee.
I give you roads right now, spend every bit of it.
Whatever she needs to get the funding approved is what we need to do.
And,
Based on,
But there's no match to this.
on the
Right.
side note, when CW or Chris comes with the estimate for Alvin Road, if we look at 5.5 miles. My price in-house is $1.3 million.
I see that, and if we approve 2 miles, so if you break it down, that means to finish the full road would be another 820. So we committed 450 of it to the 2 miles that we were wanting to do. Yeah.
I know we had mentioned those 3 roads, the 2 miles, but it's gonna be over $1 million just to do Coleman Creek and King Road by themselves. You're not gonna have anything left to start on Appleton with if you only throw $1 million at it. From a contractor standpoint. Just,
Scope of that.
Yeah.
What we turned in.
That's what we got is one point
I don't think
three or
it's full,
1.4
yeah.
million total with our match.
Chris's estimate was 1.6 with some contingency funds in it.
We really need to see what all those bids come in at, so we know
Mhm.
how much we got left to spend somewhere.
We'll have it at the 26th meeting. The bids.
Bids come in next week.
Yeah.
Some of them up.
next week.
Yeah,
25th.
next Thursday.
Thank you, Brian.
Nice.
Discussion of fire EMS equipment.
All right, Danny, you got about 10 or 15 minutes to pitch your ambulance rotation
Guys,
schedule.
look on, I think you provide them, talking about else and whatever.
If
This is just a draft kind of replacement policy and it's not really. I didn't take into consideration remounts and things like that. What I based this off of was chassis. So the ambulance chassis. And it's a 4-year or 240,000 mile rotation. I pulled some numbers on some chassis on the units we have in service now, those 4 front lines. And we averaging about 5,000 a month, which is about 60,000 a year. So if you do a 4-year rotation there at that 240,000, 250,000 mile mark. All right, now I'm not saying to get rid of them or sell them at that point, but I think they ought to be removed over to a reserve status. And this policy just kind of laid that out. You do an annual fleet review. It spells out how to do, through our budget and planning cycle. And when that starts in, we start talking about budget, July, John?
Yeah, June, July.
In that time and start, that's when we do a review of that kind of stuff, talks about some maintenance standards, disposal of retired units. And review this policy every 2 years. But that would replace 25% of your frontline ambulances. And like I said, that can be a remount or a new box. It doesn't, we just need to get newer chassis under them, add a more rotation period. So.
Well, that's basically what we've been doing, correct?
That's right. And this just kind of puts it all in the policy format, explains, so I'll have something to give Chief Garrett. But hey, when you're doing these things, when you're doing these inspections and checks and stuff like that, let's look at them and see what's worn, what's getting pricey to replace parts, things like that, and start moving those.
How often do you have to pull one out of reserve?
Oh, since we got the 3 newest ones, it has dropped tremendously.
Cause I was
I don't
thinking,
know the exact, time or how many times we've done that, but only if we have like an AC or something go down, we get low and freon or, a line rubs, gets a hole in it, something like that. That's usually when we pull one.
I was thinking we did every 3 years. It put 180,000, drop one in reserve, and you still got an extremely good backup
Yeah.
if you need it, instead of pushing it to that 240,000 miles.
And like I said, there's options for remounting this, a new one's gonna cost $350 to $400. A remount's what, 175, 225, something like that. That's including the chassis. So there's options there for that. I'm not saying buy a complete new unit every year, but at least either remount one or buy one, remount one and buy one. We don't want to mount those boxes probably more than 2 times. I mean, it's been on truck three trucks, but it's been mounted twice. So.
But I mean, eventually you're gonna have to buy a new one.
That's
because you're
right.
gonna run out of boxes.
That's right, and I
Well,
think that's on the agenda item for the next meeting.
We got 2, what'd we get? We got 2 22s and a 24 or something.
Now we got 2 24s and a 26.
It does that
All right,
all.
and we're fixing to get another one.
That's right.
And so prior to the 22, what's the next newest one we got?
2015.
2015. So we waited 7 years to get
Yeah,
it.
we didn't get no trucks for a while.
Okay.
Those 2017 and lower chassis has got nearly 500,000 miles on.
How much is a new ambulance?
350 to 400.
You want us to adopt this policy and get you written out?
I mean, I just want y'all to look at it and give me some feedback. It's
Yeah,
not.
no, I'm not trying, I just want to make sure we all understand that if we do that, then we're saying we'll replace one, every 4 years. At $400,000. So, I mean, that's what we would be agreeing to for that policy. So
Well, this is.
I'm not saying it's a good or bad idea. I'm
Yeah,
just-
I mean, this is just, y'all asked me about a replacement plan and that's.
Right,
That's,
right.
so.
We don't have a current replacement policy.
No,
This
it's
is
kind
what
of
you're proposing.
hey, I need another truck or, that type of stuff. I mean, this is just on the EMS side, the fire side.
Yeah, whole
That's a
different story.
completely different ballgame.
But the last three we replaced were run about what, 200?
Yeah, probably.
So a remount's about 200 and a brand new truck's 400.
Yeah.
Have we got our tankers in yet?
They will be here hopefully at the end of this month. He had some delay on chassis from Freightliner. We actually paid a visit over there last week and the tanks were built. They were doing the lining on the inside. That was the next step. And then they'll paint them. And one of our chassis was there. They were putting the lights and stuff in it. So I really look for them at any time. But yep, they're, Freightliner, and they were supposed to have sequential numbers. I don't know if that might still some VIN numbers. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
knew they were supposed to be here at the beginning of April, so I was just trying to pick on them.
It ain't bad,
Anything else?
So that,
Anybody got more questions?
And this can just be a guide. This ain't necessarily gotta be a policy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just something I wanted to give y'all to look at, so it kind of puts it all in writing. Like, how we
well, it's all about perception.
how we do business,
You
I
create
mean,
we create a policy and then it's public record and that's what everybody says, no, this is the Bible. This is what we're supposed to be going by. And we miss it, then
that's
whoever
right.
the board is gonna be like, what are those dummies
right.
doing, They said they would do this. Why are you not doing it? So we gotta be careful. Make sure we understand what we committed to.
That's right. That's right.
That it?
All right, no further questions. Thank you, Danny.
Yes, sir.
We have any for executive session.
We can do it in a regular meeting,
I just forgot.
Regular meeting.
regular meeting.
All right. Got a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, John.
Second.
All in favor?